The death toll from the raid on Gurugulu village in Kaduna State by armed men over the weekend has risen to 44. Unknown gunmen had invaded the area in Jama'a local council between Saturday and Sunday, killing 20 people on the spot and leaving many others injured. The state's deputy governor, Mr. Bala Bantex, has given residents the assurance that investigations are ongoing to fish out the culprits. The dusk to dawn curfew fully enforced, with security operatives increasing their presence. The attack on Godo community have left traces of destructions and killings. Several houses completely destroyed, and nothing seems to have been rescued by the house owners. They have now become homeless in a town they say they have lived for several decades. This man seems to be totally confused. He's yet to find any family member after the clashes. Nothing is left in his home. Not even his motorcycle was spared by the ravaging attackers. Some others tell the story.
What really happened in this village, in this very community, is a surprising kind of a thing. This is what we've never expected to happen in this community. And people were killed, burning of houses from this Fulani helmet.
We want government to help us because this thing we don't know where when it will end. So we want them to help us with security and call the Fulani people, talk to them and ask them the reason of doing all these things.
The deputy governor too could not believe his eyes on seeing the amount of destruction unleashed on Godo community. He summons the people to an emergency meeting to address the situation.
If people choose to use insecurity to become popular, to become this, we are in trouble. So it is defied solution to the extent that our people must contribute. If they contribute, it will not defy solution.
The National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is trying to make life easy by providing relief materials for the victims. For now, residents of Godo are staying away from their homes until the government provides adequate security to their community. Let's cross over to the Federal Capital Territory. Here's Linda Akibe. Hey, Linda.
Hello, Ijoma, and good to see you. The Senate has commended the federal government, the Swiss government and International Red Cross Society for negotiating the release of 21 Chibok girls in a motion of urgent national importance raised by Senate Majority Leader Ali Ndume. He said the girls' release is a testament to the perseverance of the Nigerian army and a clear indication that this government has been relentless in the fight against insurgency. He added that he is happy that despite the trauma the girls passed through, they are in high spirits and grateful to the government for securing their freedom.
I want to say, maybe you have read in the paper, the emotion, excitement that I personally went through. On Saturday, I sent a message to go and see them. These girls were in high spirit. They were so resilient. And when I asked them what they need, distinguished colleagues, you'll be surprised. Their leader, that is Gloria, said, please, try to get the remaining of us out there. But in doing so, she begged me to talk to the Air Force that if they carry out the air surveillance or raid in Sambisa, they should be careful so that they don't kill those that they left behind. I was really touched. But to cut it short, Mr. President, I still want to thank everybody here because the Chibok girls, 219 of them, are not the only girls that were abducted during this madness. The number is not known, but there are more than 1,000, I can bet on that. Some of them have gone unnoticed. Some of them are missing. Some of them, only God knows where they are or what condition they find themselves.
The planned concession of 4 international airport terminals would help reform the nation's aviation sector, generate more revenue and enhance service delivery. This was made known today by the Minister of State for Aviation, Mr. Hadi Sirika. He was speaking at a public hearing organized by the House of Representatives Committee on Aviation aimed at reforming the aviation industry. Our correspondent Larry Lasisi reports.
Of Aviation Committee.
Lawmakers and representatives of government agencies here for a public hearing on the challenges facing the country's aviation sector. This public hearing follows a motion passed by the House on the need to rescue the airline industry from imminent collapse. The chairman of the House committee outlined some of the challenges that are of concern to the House.
The suspension of operations by local airlines, increasing termination of operations by international airlines, licensing requirements and capacity of local airlines.
The Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives believes the sector is too viable to be ignored.
This sector also supports 159,000 jobs in the country, comprising 44,000 jobs directly supported by the aviation sector, 64,000 jobs indirectly supported by the aviation sector.
The Minister of State for Aviation was the first to put forward his position. He says the present economic situation has led to the downturn in the sector. One of the ways government hopes to address some of the challenges is to focus on some airports.
But to concession them, to put them to a better use, to increase their capacity. And when we say concession, oftentimes people feel that we mean that we will give the structures the way they are and they will be run and managed by some people. Or we will go through the same old way that so-called concession within aviation has been handled. Those concessions that were handled were in absolute secrecy for the most part, and there were a lot of underdealings within them, and there is no participation, even by the member of staff in FAN, talk less of the union, who are the most important anyway.
It's a position some of the workers in the airport are opposed to.
And out of these airports, it is only 4 that are economically viable. And coincidentally, it is these 4 that are targeted for concession. So our first fear is what happens to the remaining 17.
It's clear that this debate will continue over the next few days as the House continues this 4-day public hearing. Lanre Lasase, Channels Television News.
And away from the National Assembly, the federal government has set a target to generate 70% local content, create more jobs and earn $1 billion as annual revenue from the broadcast industry. The Minister of Information, Mr. Lai Mohammed, says this projection comes as Nigeria prepares for the digital switchover in June 2017. He was speaking at a forum for Africast 2016 in Abuja. Our correspondent Omelogo Nadi reports.
This 11th edition of the Biennial Broadcasters Conference comes at a crucial time when African countries are bracing up to the International Telecommunications Union ITU 2017 deadline for digitization. Broadcast investment, technology and content are the 3 main focus for Africast, and this year the underlying theme is financing quality content, which Nigeria considers vital, with a 70% target for a successful digital switchover.
With digitalization, the TV industry in Nigeria will be able to raise over $1 billion in 1 year. Also, digitalization will increase the number of the current 450 TV stations in Nigeria today.
Nigeria's digital broadcasting switchover would be completed in June 2017. While that would be a very significant technical feat of tremendous international significance, what is important for Nigeria would be the fact that we would also be unleashing the process of creativity and the engagement of the talent of millions of young people from all over our country. Our broadcasting philosophy envisages that 70% of content must be local.
Done with the opening session and the tour of the exhibition, which forms one of the major segments of the Africast, the key participants entered into a breakaway session. The brainstorming session featured some of the brightest brains in the industry who seemed to agree that, notwithstanding Nigeria's commanding position in content production, some implications of digitization to indigenous broadcasters need to be paid attention.
If a man is setting offshore in the Delta region of Nigeria, it costs him close to 3 times what it will cost him to set up in Abuja. We need to sit down, everybody needs to sit down and work it out. Definitely, it's not a one fix suits all.
We are going to be switched over. And I don't see that we have been greatly been given the opportunity to actually be part of this drive and the system. I think we've been severely left out.
Africa hopes to attain digital singularity with other advanced countries soon. And Nigeria's final switch over from analog to digital terrestrial broadcasting is just 8 months away. Quality local content is vital and primary for either of these to be a success, and that is the key target of Africa's 2016 here in Abuja. Omelogo Nadi for Channels Television News.
Still ahead on the news at 10, Nigeria's stock market falls for a second day as investors wait for banks' third quarter earnings. That's in Business News. Join us again.